This new show, Secret Level, on Amazon Prime has some cool ideas.
Yeah, I finally finished watching all of it. It's like 15 episodes, I think. Some are really short, like just 8 or 9 minutes, and others are longer.
It's an anthology series, so for listeners, just to recap, Secret Level is created by some of the team behind Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix. I think this is Tim Miller and Blur Studio. The episode that gets a lot of attention is the Warhammer40k one.
Oh, but what about the PacMan one? You know, if the episode didn't mention PacMan in the title, I would not have known it was about PacMan at all.
That was one of the strangest episodes because it creates this mysterious backstory and lore to a classic arcade game. Most people think of PacMan as a simple circular character that eats pellets, ghosts, and cherries in a top-down view of a maze. But this wild episode, imagine a world where a nameless character awakens in this apocalyptic landscape and communicates with this globe that compels him to transform and fight a monstrous beast. The character merges with the globe and morphs into this horrific version, I should say, of the PacMan character.
Isn't this episode also, isn't it launching a game or something like that? I thought I read that somewhere.
Yes, you're right. I think it's called Shadow Labyrinth. It really shows us what is possible with taking a cool idea and visualizing it within an anthology series. Actually, to me, that's the benefit of doing an anthology because you can take risks in storytelling and produce it within a shorter time frame compared to making a full-length series or a feature film. You can gather a lot of interesting ideas, delegate them out to teams to produce, and encourage them to try different things. For example, I'm thinking of the Shifu episode, which was part of the first batch of episodes. There's one long tracking shot toward the end where the martial arts hero is fighting multiple enemies in a bridge-like corridor with glass windows and a glass floor. So the camera goes under the floor and we see the fight progressing as the hero fights his way through the melee. I thought it was a really cool shot to pull off.
Honestly, I felt the same way about the Warhammer episode you mentioned. I don't know a lot about the Warhammer lore, but I want to learn more after watching it. Watching this episode, the Space Marines game is a recent hit, and this whole world feels so rich with a lot of details. But the whole vibe and atmosphere of it really got to me.
Definitely what we could call a haunting episode. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being an introduction to the world of Warhammer for a lot of people. The whole series for Secret Level really captures this moment we're in because games and movies and TV are somewhat merging. You know how we had almost 20 years of superhero movies as a mainstream Hollywood product, and now it seems like games are being mined as the new IP or intellectual property for stories. Think of Arcane, the upcoming Minecraft movie, the Twisted Metal series, even Fallout Season 1 on Amazon.
Don't forget about the Sonic movies.
Yep, and that reminds me, we will talk about Sonic 3 soon. It just points to the fact that more people who have grown up with video games are now behind the scenes as creators of these shows and movies, and the general audience is also expanded with more awareness of gaming. I think gaming is increasingly speaking more to younger audiences where shows and movies have reached a saturation point. There will always be room for traditional shows and movies, it's just that there are more ways to have a narrative experience or even a communal storytelling experience now.
That makes me think of Marvel Rivals and how so many people are enjoying it right now. We gotta talk about that sometime soon.